So, funny story, I kind of haven't had my own laptop since 2013. I feel like it was technology's cruel joke upon me, being like, oh, I see with YouTube Lo-Fi Week, you kind of proved that people can make really nice content on YouTube without, expensive equipment. Bet you need a laptop though, don't you? So yeah, of course, with the very fact that I couldn't make YouTube videos meant that I really, really wanted to make YouTube videos. In particular, a channel that really inspired me this year is Art Sketchbook, which is a channel by a guy called Liam, who is also in World of the Orange, which is another really good channel you should check out. Just all these channels are just making content. But in particular, Liam's Art Sketchbook channel is all about kind of his art-based journey and like showing you what he uses and his techniques, and talking about at the moment he's doing like a cartoon course, and it's really fun and really entertaining format, and I would really, really recommend that you go look at it. And it's been really inspiring to me because it's kind of been the stuff that I wanted to do for a long time. I just haven't found the right way to say it. One of the first couple of videos that I ever made, I'm pretty sure I said, wouldn't it be fun to show you my sketchbook? And 4 years later, I'm going to show you some sketchbook. I thought as a fun sort of introduction to my kind of illustration background, I would show you 3 sketchbooks of varying different ages. So the first sketchbook is this one, which I think I have actually spoken about in past videos before. It's the one that I had at foundation, which is when I was about 19, and it's like a stepping stone course between school and university. But it was one of the best, most useful years of my life in terms of my art, so I thought I would show you this very important sketchbook. Looking through it though, it's really not what I would call a sketchbook anymore. It's kind of very, what I would call like considered pages. I was kind of planning it out as if it was its own little book in itself and its own little guide, and this was for a project about childhood icons and therefore like imaginary friends. That's what these little sketchbooks are really good for, is like capturing little moments, and you don't have to spend a day on a page. You can just literally like go to the next page, and this thing is full of ideas that I still want to use in future things. It's kind of weird to me looking back now because it's so unlike the next 2 sketchbooks. I study illustration and animation at university. I'm now in my 3rd year, but this was done in my very first year, and one of the first like big projects that we had, I think. And looking through this is kind of like how I imagine people think that sketchbooks should all be like. It's kind of considered, but also very like visualized everything, like all my ideas. There's hardly any writing in this, just like drawing, which I think is a really good way to do stuff if you're thinking about looking into like design, like just to get into the habit of drawing instead of trying to explain something, and immediately you'll start generating ideas that way. This project, by the way, is illustrating Angela Carter's Bloody Chamber, which is a series of dark fairy tales. Kind of reminds me of the way I used to do sketchbooks at A-level, which I really want to show you some of my A-level sketchbooks when I go back home, because they are kind of interesting. But it feels less forced. It's like a genuine way of imagining and like putting stuff down on paper. This way is very like easy to show people. It's kind of impressive to look at, people going, oh, look at this. And I think I was kind of aware of that when I was in 1st year, like being aware that people were going to look at my stuff and trying to prove yourself in your 1st year of university, compared to the ones that I use today. If you notice, I have like sketchbooks for each project. I generally go through these because they're quite thin. I just go through them like for the beginning of a project because they're so good for like having a whole page spread to kind of come up with ideas. But you will, when I flick through this book for you, you will see that most of these are really like weird drawings, really kind of sketchy, like nonsensical. There's no linear kind of narrative to any of these pages. There's no like rhyme or reason. But that is currently the way that I work. And for me, at the moment, sketchbooks are things to not be treated preciously. I can flick through this book and see where design works and where it doesn't, but for someone else watching this, it will look like a bunch of nonsensical rubbish. And I think there is no real right or wrong way to make sketchbooks. I have, gone through lots of different ways of making sketchbooks. These are just 3 sketchbooks out of God knows how many that I've gone through being at university and foundation level. There's just so many different ways to get your ideas down on the page, but I think first and foremost that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be about trying to impress anyone or show anyone how great you are, because that's what final imagery is about. But yeah, there's no real way to do it. Let me know how you kind of work in your sketchbooks. I love seeing sketchbook pages. I don't know about you, but I think it's something that I find really intriguing. Just the way that people, put those little thoughts, those visual thoughts down on paper. It's really interesting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you check out Liam's channel. I will leave links below to exciting things. And yeah, have a really nice day, and I will see you whenever, I guess.